Just 2 weeks on from the visit to Donington Park, the Yamaha R3 bLU cRU European Cup headed to the Autodrom Most for the Czech round, the penultimate date on the 2022 calendar. All eyes were on series leader, the number 39 Enzo Valentim, who, at 26 points clear after 8 races, had the realistic chance to seal the crown before the final round at Manicourt in September. Valentim's closest rival, following back-to-back victories at the UK round a fortnight ago, was Devis Bergamini. A ride-through penalty for the number 13 for irresponsible riding at Donington Park ended race 1 in Most as a serious contest for him. Bergamini ducked in to pit lane at the end of lap 2 from the lead, almost clashing with rival Valentim before leaving the Brazilian clear at the head of the field. 28 seconds lost, for which he was unable to recover. Valentim wasn't without rivals though over the remainder of the 11-lap distance. Number 37 Andrea Pizzoli had again proven his ability with a third consecutive pole position. With a new fastest lap, he put himself back into podium contention, while the other championship favourite Kevin Fontana also made a charge on the number 26. Impressively, there was not even a single retirement from the race, despite a few near misses at the end of the 792-metre start-finish straight, which also provided the majority of the overtaking action. The heaviest braking zone at the Autodrom Most, immediately followed by the two slowest and tightest corners at the venue, proving a real pinch point. Two notable victims of the Turn 1 squeeze, Andrea Pizzoli dropped back when he was forced straight on. The Italian could only begin his climb from 10th with 4 laps to go. Even more dramatic was Enzo Valentim's error. The championship leader struggled to feed himself back to his original position, was left all the way down in 10th place. But it wasn't long before Valentim had recovered the lead. Number 89, Wahyu Nugroho, joining him at the front with 2.5 laps to go, as the Indonesian made his bid for a first podium, following 2 fourth places at Donington Park. 17-year-old Gustavo Manzo was next to take the lead, bouncing back in fine style from an underwhelming weekend in Great Britain and rediscovering the pace that took him to a first podium at round 3 in Misano. And his fellow countryman Eduardo Burr, the 16-year-old enjoying his best performance yet, was tucked in with him at the front until he miscounted the number of laps and began to celebrate a presumed podium a lap too early. Juran Kušmerček did the same, and Enzo Valentim was the main beneficiary, charging from 5th to lead. Although he tried his best to weave in defence of top spot, Valentim was outdragged to the line on the final lap, Gustavo Manzo cutting past to claim his first victory.
So I'm very happy with this win. It's my first win in this championship, and I was waiting this time, but arrived, and I like to... I don't have words to talk this. It's my first win, and we have the second race to try another win. So thank you all that stay with me, and let's do the next race.
Wahyu Nugroho completed the podium, finishing ahead of Kevin Fontana, who leapfrogged the scoreless Devis Bergamini into second overall. Enzo Valentim extending his lead to 37 points, with only 3 races remaining. And with only 50 points up for grabs in Manicourt, that left race 2 in Most as a potential title decider. Valentim looking for a win, with Kevin Fontana outside the top 4. But with his penalty served, Devis Bergamini, now 20 points further adrift in the standings, was keen to bring himself back into contention. He was never far away from the lead, and a brilliant outside move at the start of lap 2 underlined his determination to hit the front. Race 1 winner Gustavo Manzo couldn't replicate that success in the afternoon. He again showed strongly early on, was pushed back at the start of lap 5 and didn't feature again in the top 5, eventually coming home for 7th. Premature race 1 celebration had proved costly for Juran Kušmerček on the number 47, but he continued to show impressive pace on the way to his best result yet. Meanwhile, Enzo Valentim boosted his chances of securing the title by taking up the lead on lap 6. Devis Bergamini pushed backwards and dropping as far as 7th, with Kevin Fontana crucially also outside of the podium places. It took just a lap for Bergamini to fight his way back to the front though, slipstream all-powerful, and the start-finish straight again providing all of the action. For a second race in succession, all 21 riders made the checkered flag, But for Kritapat Kenkum, who retired from 4 of his first 5 races in the series at the start of the year, it was only back-to-back finishes after he'd picked himself up from the gravel trap from a turn 10 fall. Up at the front, Bergamini and Valentin continued to set out their stalls for the win. Valentin moving back through for the lead and looking good for the 25 points likely to hand him the title as well. Bergamini was crowded out somewhat down the start-finish straight coming into the final lap, left on the outside of a 6 abreast entry to turn 1 with Kuzmecic charging through. But Bergamini and Valentin pushed back through in a grandstand finale, dueling for track position on the inside of turn 20. Bergamini came out on top, leading through the final turn. Valentin squeezed through with a final push to the finish, crossed the white line next to the pit wall and suffered a post-race penalty for exceeding track limits, giving the win to Bergamini. Andrea Locatelli was on hand to present the trophies, including a first podium for Juran Kuzmecic, a 3rd win in 4 races for Devis Bergamini, the perfect way for him to bounce back from his race 1 non-score.
The championship is open. Fortunately, in race 1, I did right through, so I lost the race for this right through. But in the second race, was very difficult, and I don't know. I arrived 3rd, but I'm 1st. I don't know why. I think because other pilot exceed track limits in the last corner, but I'm happy and thank you to everyone, and see you Magnicur.
With 8 podium finishes, including 5 in succession, Enzo Valentin remains the favourite. He's scored in every race of the 2022 season thus far, and thanks to a 41-point lead, he'd only secured 10 points from 2 remaining races. But his quest for the title will have to wait until after the summer break. The action resumes in the 2nd week of September at Magnicur in France.